morning, students. Today we are going to start with the story The Sound Machine by Gawal Dayal. So, who will read? Who wants to read? Insha. So please unmute Insha.
It was a warm summer evening, and Klausner walked quickly through the front gate and around the side of the house and into the garden at the back. He went on down the garden until he came to a wooden shed, and he unlocked the door, went inside and closed the door behind him. The interior...
It was a summer evening, and the character, Klausner, who is the protagonist of this story, who is the main character of the story, he walked quickly. He rushed into the house, then from the front gate, and then across the side of the house. Instead, he crossed the garden of the house and went to a shed-like structure, right? So he reached the shed which was there in the garden, and then he unlocked the door. The shed was locked. He unlocked the door, went inside it, and then closed the door behind him. So this is what he did. Klausner on entering the garden, and he was walking quickly. See, I told you that Klausner is an obsessed person. So these are the points which will help you to write down about Klausner's obsession, the way he was behaving. We'll come to know some certain points we will get in the story, which will tell you that his behavior was not normal, right? There was something strange about him. Come to know in this one. Continue.
The interior of the shed was an unpainted room. Against one wall on the left, there was a long wooden workbench, and on it, among a littering of wires and batteries.
Littering means there were wires scattered on that bench. There was a wooden bench. The inside of the shed where Klausner entered, that portion was unpainted, right? Not properly maintained. And against the wall, there was a workbench which was fixed to the wall on the left, right? Wooden workbench, and on it among the littering of wires. Littering of wires means some wires were scattered and batteries were scattered and some small tools, right? Normally electrical tools, they were also scattered on that bench.
There stood a black box about 3 feet long, the shape of a child's coffin. Klausner moved across the room to the box. The top of the box was open, and he bent down and began to poke and peer inside it among a mass of different colored wires and silver tubes. He picked up a piece of paper that lay beside the box, studied it carefully, put it down.
So, among these wires and batteries which were scattered there on the workbench, what was kept there? There stood a black box. And the size of the black box was somewhere around 3 feet, right? And the shape of the box was like a child's coffin, right? Coffin for a small child. So that was the shape of the box. And that box was kept on the workbench along with the wires and batteries which were scattered there. Klausner moved across the room to the box. So Klausner, after entering that shed, that room, he went towards the box. The top of the box was open, and he bent down and began to poke and peer inside it. So the top portion of the box was open, right? And then he began to poke. Poke means to push in one direction, right? When you push something normally with your finger, so that is poking. So he pushed inside the box with his fingers and peered inside it among a mass of different colored wires. And what was there inside the box? Different colored wires were fixed inside the box, and he peered inside it. Peered inside it means he looked carefully inside the box, right? Maybe he was trying to check the connection, right? By pressing in one direction and then looking carefully at the connection of the wires which were of different colors. There were several wires inside the box, and they were of different colors. And what else was there? Silver tubes were there inside the box. And then What did he do? He picked up a piece of paper that lay beside the box, studied it carefully. And then he must have drawn the circuit on a piece of paper. So he caught hold of that paper, looked carefully at the paper, and then he looked inside the box, then kept the paper down on the wooden bench and then peered inside the box. So he was trying to confirm whether the connection is proper. Connection is in the similar manner in which he has drawn on the paper, right? Everything which is drawn on the paper should be the same as the connection inside the box. So this is what he was trying to do. He was trying to be sure of the connection of the wires inside the box. Peered inside the box and started running his fingers along the wire and started moving his fingers. Running his fingers means started moving his fingers along the wires, tugging gently at them to test the connection. And then catching hold of it and pulling them lightly. So tugging gently means to pull and see that whether the connection is proper or not, whether the wire has been connected properly or not. At them to test the connection. Then he looked back at the paper, then into the box, then at the paper again, checking each wire. He did this for perhaps an hour. So this process went on for approximately an hour. One time he used to look at the paper, then again inside the box, check the connection, then again at the paper. He used to come back to the paper, then again look carefully inside the box and be sure of the connection, whether the connection is exactly the same as he has drawn on the paper. Continuation.
Then he put a hand around to the front of the box where there were 3 dials and he began to twiddle them.
Twiddle them means? Twiddle means to turn nervously, means very carefully and nervously he started twiddling them. There were dials and then he began to moving those dials.
Watching at the same time the movement of the mechanism inside the box. All the while he kept speaking softly to himself, nodding his head, smiling sometimes, his hands always moving, the fingers moving swiftly, deftly inside the box, his mouth twisting into curious shapes when a thing was delicate or difficult to do, saying yes, yes, and now this one. Yes, yes, but is this right? Is it? Where's my diagram?
Okay. So see, this is the way he was behaving. After reading these lines, what can you make out about Klausner?
He was curious. He was very curious.
He was very curious and he was completely absorbed in his work, right? See, when you are too much into something, at times you start talking to yourself. So Klausner was actually talking to himself, right? So then he put his hand around to the front of the box. Where there were 3 dials. There were 3 dials, the front portion of the box, and he began to twiddle them. Twiddle them means he began to turn them very nervously and very carefully because he didn't want to damage anything. Watching at the same time, and when he was turning the dials which were outside the box, he was looking inside the box, right? To study the mechanism. Once he rotates those dials, what happens inside the box, right? All this while he kept speaking softly to himself. So he was continuously speaking or talking to himself, nodding his head. So every time he used to twist the dial a little, he used to talk to himself. Yes, yes, right? So this way he was talking. Smiling sometimes when everything was perfect, right? So then he used to smile on his own, right? His hands always moving and fingers moving swiftly. So this movement of the hands and fingers, right? How anxious he was, his anxiety, right? They say that these things tell about his abnormal behavior. Why was this behavior abnormal? Because of the obsession, right? Obsession with his work. Deftly inside the box. Deftly means skillfully inside the box. His mouth twisting into curious shapes. When you are too much involved into something, you change your expressions also. Your expressions also start changing. So when he used to move that dial, his mouth used to twist here and there. Strange shapes he used to make with his mouth also. when a thing was delicate or difficult to do, saying yes, yes, and now this one, yes, yes. But is this right? He was continuously talking to himself, right? Completely unaware of his surroundings, completely unaware that whether somebody is listening to him or not. Is that where's my diagram? So then he was asking questions to himself and answering them also. Where's my diagram? Where's my diagram? You need to check it. So this is the way he was behaving. Then he again said, ah, yes, of course. Yes, yes, that's right. And now, good, good. Yes, 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 yes. So he used to, while rotating the knobs, he used to say, the dials, he used to say, yes, yes. So when he felt that everything was fine, he started saying, yes, yes. His concentration was intense. Why was this happening? Because his concentration was intense. His mind was completely occupied with the work which he was doing. His movements were quick. There was an air of urgency about the way he worked, of breathlessness, of a strong suppressed excitement, right? So because he was doing some work which he actually wanted to do, he had a very strong desire, right? It was related to the work which he was doing. So there was breathlessness, there was anxiety, there was restlessness, and then there was excitement also. When a step was done properly, he felt excited and happy also, right? So these kind of feelings were going on inside him, right? And he was completely engrossed and involved in the work which he was doing. Suddenly he heard footsteps on the gravel path outside. And then all of a sudden he heard footsteps on the gravel path outside the shed. And he straightened up. And so when he heard the footsteps, then he was distracted and he straightened up and turned swiftly at the door, opened, and a tall man came. So when he heard the footsteps, this sound of the footsteps distracted him from his work, and he straightened up. Why straightened up? Because till now he was bending over the box and working on the box, right? So he straightened up and then turned swiftly at the door and opened the door because he had locked the door from inside. So he opened the door and the tall man came inside. Who was this tall man? It was a Scot. It was only Scott, the doctor. So it was Scott, the doctor, right? Klausner's doctor. Well, 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 the doctor said. So this is where you hide yourself in the evening. So says, oh, so that is why you are not nowhere to be seen in the evening, because this is the place where you hide yourself in the evening. Hello, Scott, Klausner said. So Klausner actually didn't like the arrival of this doctor. Why? Why he didn't like the arrival of this doctor? When you are completely involved in something and somebody disturbs you, right? What will happen? You will feel irritated. You will not feel nice, right? So the Scott was also this person, the Dr. Scott, when he came, the arrival of Dr. Scott disturbed and distracted Klausner from his work. And so he was not very happy with his arrival. So, hello, Scott, Klausner said. So Klausner just welcomed him. I happened to be passing, the doctor told him. So I dropped in to see how you are. So he said that I was passing this way, and so I thought of coming to your house and seeing you, meeting you. There was no one in the house, so I came on down here. How is that throat of yours been behaving? How is that throat of yours been behaving means, how are you feeling now? Means he must have been suffering from cold. And so he says that now, how are you feeling? How is your throat been behaving? The problem which you had in your throat, now, how is it? So because when I entered the house, there was no one in the house. And so I came straight, I crossed the garden and I came to this shed straight away. How's that? It's all right. It's fine. So Klausner said that it's all right. It's fine. You need not worry about it. So the doctor insisted that now I am here, I might as well have a look at it. So now because I am already here, so it's better that I check for myself, right? I check myself, how is your throat, whether it's okay or not. But Klausner didn't like this idea. He said, please don't trouble. I'm quite cured. I'm fine. So Klausner said that, no, you need not check me, right? I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm not facing any trouble. My throat is perfectly fine. It has been quite cured, right? There's no problem with my throat. So you don't please. There is no need for you to trouble yourself, right? I'm okay. Because he didn't want to be disturbed in his work. The doctor began to feel the tension in the room. And then the doctor started feeling the tension in the room. He also felt like there are whites, and so he also felt that maybe Klausner is not happy with his arrival. He looked, and then he looked at the strange things and objects which were scattered there. He looked at the black box on the bench. Then the black box on the bench was kept on the bench, which appeared similar to a coffin. It caught the attention of the doctor. Then he looked at the man, and then first he glanced at the black box, then he looked at Klausner, and then he said that you have got your hat on, right? What does this show, that you have got your hat on? That he was so much into his work that he even forgot to remove his hat, right? He was working on that black box with his hat on. So this shows the obsession of Klausner with his work, right? So he was so much into his work that he didn't even remove his hat. Oh, have I? Klausner reached up, removed the hat, and put it on the bench. Oh, have I my hat on? So then he removed his hat. The doctor came up closer and bent down to look into the box. But because this box was something which appeared very strange to the doctor, right? So doctor's curiosity was excited, and he came closer to the box to look what it was, right? What's this? He said, making a radio. So then he asked Klausner that, what is it? Are you trying to make a radio? No, just fooling around. But Klausner was not very much interested in talking to the doctor. And so he said that, no, I've been just fooling around, nothing serious about it. It's got rather complicated looking innards. Innards means the inner parts of a machine, right? So he says, but the wiring and the circuit which is inside this box, that is very complex and complicated. Yes, Klausner seemed tense and distracted. So now Klausner was feeling irritated. Right? He didn't want any distraction in his work, and this doctor was here, was continuously trying to talk to him and disturb him. Right? You must have seen the way Klausner was answering, right? No, just fooling around, right? What does this show? That he wants to end the conversation. He doesn't want to continue with the conversation. So he says, no, I'm nothing serious about the box. I was just fooling around. So now he says yes, right? So he didn't explain anything about the interiors of the box. He just said yes. What is it? The doctor asked. But the doctor was very curious now, right? Because there were so many wires, so many batteries which were scattered, and then there was a strange box, a strange black colored box, which seemed similar to a coffin with complex wiring in the inside of it, dials on the outside. So obviously anyone will be curious, right? Anyone would like to know more about it. So the doctor also wanted to know more about it. So then he again asked, what is it? The doctor asked. It's rather a frightening looking thing, isn't it? It's really frightening. What is it? What is it that you are making? So then Klausner replied, it's just an idea. So I'm just working on an idea which came into my mind. Yes. So doctor said, yes. And then what else? What type of idea is it? Because this was a very vague reply. So he said, yes, it has to do with sound. That's all. So then Klausner replied, this idea is something related to the sound. That's all, right? Good heavens, man. Don't you get enough of that sort of thing all day in your work? So he said, sound? Sound is something which you hear from morning till evening, every day in your work. This is something which is very common. Why do you need such a complex structure to hear sound? So the Klausner replied, I like sound because I am very fond of sound, and sound is something which fascinates me. So that is why I'm working on this structure. So this kind of surprised the doctor, that why is he so much interested in sound? Sound is something which is very common every day. From we hear so many sounds. So the Klausner said that I like sound. Sound is something which I find very fascinating. I like sound. So it seems. The doctor went to the doctor. So the doctor said, glanced at everything, and he said, yes, it seems like you are very fond of sound, because you are putting in so much extra effort just for the sake of sound. So it's quite obvious that you are very much fond of sound. The doctor went to the door turned and said, well, I won't disturb you. Glad your throat's not worrying you anymore. But he kept standing there, looking at the box. So actually he tried to go, but again, his inquisitiveness, his curiosity stopped him, and he opened the door, and he was standing there at the door. And then he said, fine, I won't disturb you, because he also kind of sensed that he was not a welcome visitor at this time. Klausner was not interested in talking to him, right? So he decided to leave. But when he reached the door, right, he said, I won't disturb you. It's nice to know that your throat is not troubling you anymore. But he kept, and then he didn't go. He kept on standing at the door, right? Looking at the box, that black colored box. Intrigued by the remarkable complexity of its inside. Intrigued means when you are very much interested, when you are very much curious to know about something. So the complexity of its inside. The complexity of its inside means all the wires and the connections which were inside the box, right? They were very complex. So that made the doctor very curious, and he was very much interested in knowing the details of this particular instrument which was being made by Klausner. Curious to know what this strange patient of his was up to. So he couldn't stop himself from asking Klausner, what's it really for? He asked. So before moving out of the house, or out of the room rather, he asked, but I still want to know what it is really for, right? How will it help you to listen to sound, right? He wanted to know the details of that instrument. You have made me inquisitive. Now you have made me curious about this strange looking box, and I want to know more about it. So please tell me, what is it really for? Klausner looked down at the box, then at the doctor, and he reached up. So first he looked at the box, then he looked at the doctor, and then he reached up and began gently to scratch the lobe of his right ear. Then he started scratching the lobe of his right ear, trying to figure out how he should explain to the doctor, right? There was a pause, and then he kept quiet for some time. Klausner, he didn't speak for some time. The doctor stood by the door waiting and smiling, and the doctor was standing there at the gate, smiling and waiting for Klausner's reply. And Klausner was trying to figure out, trying to understand from where he should start and how he should explain this complex structure to the doctor. Then he said, all right, I'll tell you if you're interested. So then he said, all right, if you're very much interested, if you're very much curious to know, then I will tell you, I will explain you. There was another pause, and then he paused for some time further. And the doctor could see that Klausner was having trouble about how to do it. And this made it very clear to the doctor that, that Klausner was not able to understand how he should begin his explanation about that object or instrument which was kept there on the table. He was shifting from one foot to another, and then he was shifting his weight from one foot to another. Tugging at the lobe of his ear, holding the lobes of his ear, looking at his feet, and then at last, slowly. Then he looked at his feet, and then he, in the end, slowly he said, right? Actually, he was trying to find some easy way to explain the doctor, right? Because if he will start talking about all the complexity, right, in a very technical language, then maybe the doctor might not understand, because he has worked on this box a lot, right? He has researched a lot. So his technical language might not be very clear to the doctor. So he wanted to explain everything to the doctor in a very simple language. And so that is why he was finding it difficult from where to start. So then he said, well, it's like this. The theory is very simple, really. So then he tried to explain the theory on which this box has been constructed by him. Then he said, the theory is very simple on which I have made this box. The human ear, you know that it can't hear everything. So this was his theory, which was explained by Klosner. See, we can hear only a limited frequency, that is from 20 to 20,000 hertz. And that too, not everyone is able to hear this range of frequency. There are sounds that are so low pitched and so high pitched that it can't hear them. So human ear cannot hear very high pitched and very low pitched sounds. Yes, the doctor said. Yes, so the doctor knew this fact, and so he said, yes, fine, I agree with you. Whatever you said, that's fine. Well, speaking very roughly, any note so high that it has more than 15,000 vibrations a second, we cannot hear. So he said that any sound, any note whose vibrations or whose frequency is 15,000 vibrations per second, you cannot hear that sound. Dogs have better ears than us. So this, all of us know that dogs, they can hear sounds which we cannot hear because their range is greater than humans. So they can hear higher frequencies in comparison to humans. You know, you can buy a whistle whose note is so high pitched that you can't hear it at all, but a dog can hear it. So then he told the doctor that, you know, you must have heard of a whistle, that once you blow that whistle, you will not be able to hear anything because that will be beyond your range, your hearing range. But the dog will be able to hear the whistle and the dog will react on hearing the whistle. So the doctor said, yes, I have seen one. The doctor said that, yes, I know of this whistle. The sound can be heard by the dogs, but not by the humans. So he says that up the scale higher than the note of that whistle, there is another note. So there is another note. I told you what is a note. A note is a single tone of a definite pitch, which is made by any musical instrument or by a human voice, right? So that is a note. So he says that sound of the whistle is not the end. There are notes which are higher than that whistle also. A vibration, if you like. So if you want to call it a vibration, you may. But I would prefer to call it a note. Klosner said, I like calling it a note. If you want to call it vibration, fine, you can call it a vibration also. You can't hear that one either. So you cannot hear that vibration, which is higher than the sound of that whistle. And above that, there is another, and another rising right up the scale forever and ever and ever. An endless succession of notes, an infinity of notes. So when he was explaining this, he was explaining that he was very much excited when he was started talking about the sound. Again, this also tells about his obsession. Right? If the question comes on Klosner's obsession, you will think. Right? Says then there is another note and higher on that scale. Right? There are infinite number of notes. Right? Endless succession that goes on and on and on. The list goes on and on and on. Goes higher and higher. There is a note. If only our ears could hear it. But the problem is that our ears cannot hear it, because our ears are capable of only, hearing to only a fixed range of frequency. Anything which is higher than it or lower than it, we cannot. So high that it vibrates 1,000,000 times a second, and another 1,000,000 times as high as that, and on, higher and higher, as far as numbers can go, which is infinity, eternity, beyond the stars. So he said that there is no end. There are infinite number of notes, right? There are vibrations with like 1,000,000 times as high as that, right? There are vibrations of 1,000,000 times per second, right? There are notes. So this was the explanation which was given by Klausner to Dr. Spock, right? So he was completely lost when he was explaining the sound. Now, what do you think will be the effect of this on the doctor? See, when a person is obsessed about something and he starts talking about that particular thing, he gets very excited and very hyper. So you can make out from this paragraph the way he was talking to the doctor. So high that it vibrates 1,000,000 times a second, and another 1,000,000 times as high as that, and on, higher and higher, as far as numbers can go, right? So this shows his excitement, because he was speaking on a subject which is very dear to him, which is very close to him. He's very fond of sound. So, and if somebody asks about sounds, Klausner, obviously he'll be very excited. So this also, in this paragraph also, you can get points related to Klausner's obsession. I think we should stop here because it's almost time, and we'll continue from the next paragraph on the next one.